Hi, this is Karla Scott from Global Ways, and welcome back. We're talking about culture in Russia. And as most of you know, one of the most effective ways to gain insight into another culture is to challenge our own cultural norms. So we're going to be visiting Russia soon, so let's look at an encounter now between an American, Charles, and a Russian, Tatiana, both living inside of Russia. Here we go. Where's Ivan? Oh, he decided not to come. Why not? Oh, he's in one of his moods. That's too bad. Maybe we should go by and cheer him up. What for? I thought you said he was depressed. He is? So what's going on here? What's going on here? What is it about our own cultural values and norms that may be interfering with our ability to handle that situation? So let's look what the author Craig Sortie in Cross-Cultural Dialogues says about this encounter. The title is Depression. As a rule, Americans try very hard to be happy. Indeed, we regard happiness not merely as a boon we enjoy from time to time, but as a virtual imperative. Isn't that the truth? If one is down, one feels almost obliged to do something about it, for it is the prevailing belief that unhappiness is both unnatural and abnormal. The norm, in other words, is to be happy. If one's friend is down, then of course one wants to do all one can to help to bring the person back to normal. So it is, Charles is quite naturally roused to action by the news that his friend Ivan is depressed. For her part, Tatiana's confusion stems from her very Russian belief that happiness is no more the norm than sadness or depression, that each is a natural and inevitable part of life, and that one is just as likely to occur as the other. Given this acceptance of the normality of sadness, she sees no reason to do anything about Ivan's depression, to fix it as it were, for there's nothing really broken. So why this American insistence on being happy? Well, it probably relates to our belief in the power of individuals to shape events and control our own destinies. If we really are masters of our fate and captains of our souls, then there's no excuse for being unhappy. If one is upset by a given set of circumstances, one simply does something to change them. And when you think about it, the fact that happiness, or at least the pursuit thereof, is actually enshrined in our Declaration of Independence as one of mankind's inalienable rights. This isn't to say that Russians wouldn't prefer to be happy or enjoy being sad, but only that they are unhinged by depression. You can only be thrown by depression if you believe happiness is ultimately a matter of choice. So what do you think about that? Well, more on this subject, when you look at some of the rules or guidelines around etiquette when dealing with the Russians, one of the things that I often hear is that visitors to Russia should try to refrain from smiling too much to avoid attracting attention. And this is also something that you hear when you're spending time with people from a host of other cultures, and that's when you realize that this smiling thing is almost uniquely an American phenomena. It's an American behavior that's very common here, and we tend to project that behavior on the rest of the world. Here's a story that illustrates that. It says, in Russia, it's not usual to smile at passers-by. At best, this will be thought of as some sort of stupidity, but smiling at a stranger in certain circumstances, in a dimly lit doorway, for example, could even be dangerous. It goes on to talk about the fact that when the first McDonald's opened in Russia, the employees were taught to smile at clients, which caused a lot of problems. Or as one of the young employees put it, people think that we're complete idiots. The serious, concentrated face that Russians wear on the street is not a sign of any particular glumness, but just a tradition that considers smiles to be something private and reserved for those close to you. And here's a quote that I love. In Russian, it says that laughter without reason is the sign of stupidity. So I want you to think about that as you move forward in being effective with your Russian colleagues. This is Karla from Global Ways.